The Legend of Jigong Chapter 11.
So, picture this. You're watching a movie, right? And the genre just keeps shifting under your feet.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute, it's this tense political thriller, with assassinations and corruption. The next, it's like a slapstick buddy cop comedy.
And then, what, a disaster film?
Exactly. A disaster film with massive explosions. And then it just wraps up as this moral fable about karma.
It sounds like a mess, honestly.
It sounds like a total mess. But in the story we're covering today, it is somehow a perfectly coherent, if chaotic, narrative.
It really is a wild ride.
We're looking at a specific stack of source material involving the legendary monk Jigong. And I gotta say, this might be the most escalated situation we've ever covered. We go from a quiet conversation in a garden to grand larceny and arson in like the blink of an eye.
Yeah, we're analyzing a sequence of events centered on the prime minister's estate, a young nobleman who has lost everything, and a decision that literally sets the sky on fire.
And what I love about this is that it isn't just action for action's sake. Every explosion, every fight is tied to this really intricate web of debt and gratitude and, social standing.
Right.
But before we get to the fire, we have to set the stage. The sources kind of drop us right into the belly of the beast and the garden of Prime Minister Qin Hui.
Right. And beast is a fair description, given the politics.
Yeah.
It's the dead of night. We zoom in on a small room in the garden where a young scholar named Zhu Ziping and his elderly servant, Xu Fu, are staying.
Now, on the surface, this looks like a nice gesture, right? The garden manager has invited this young student to stay and study, but digging into the backstory here, this isn't hospitality, is it? It's a trap.
It is absolutely a trap.
Mm-hmm.
To understand why, you have to look at the garden manager, a man named Han Dianyuan. The text is not subtle about this guy.
No.
It describes him explicitly as someone who dislikes the poor and loves the rich.
A classic villain trope, but it's personal for him, right? This isn't just like generic classism.
Oh, it's very personal. Years ago, the scholar's father and Han Dianyuan were best friends. So close, in fact, that Han betrothed his daughter to Zhu Ziping when they were just kids.
Okay, so there's a contract.
A signed, sealed contract. But as often happens in these stories, the Zhu family suffered a catastrophe. A fire destroyed their home and their fortune.
So Zhu Ziping shows up, basically in rags, expecting to marry Han's daughter, and Han just looks at him and sees a liability.
Exactly. In this society, a marriage contract is legally and socially binding. You can't just tear it up. But Han wants to climb the social ladder, and a destitute son-in-law is an anchor.
So he can't break the engagement without losing face.
Right.
So he decides to break the fiancé instead.
He goes for the nuclear option. He invites Xu Ziping to live in the garden, supposedly to help him, but he has secretly hired a hitman to eliminate him.
Wow.
Yeah. If the boy dies mysteriously, the marriage contract is void.
That is incredibly cold. Inviting someone into your home just to have them whacked, that's next-level villainy. So let's talk about the instrument of this murder, the assassin.
Yin Shicheng. The sources paint quite a picture. He's a burly man carrying a heavy broadsword, and he's creeping into the room at midnight.
Okay.
The servant, Zhu Fu, sees him enter and immediately realizes, the game is up.
And this is the first moment where the story really surprised me. Usually the servant screams or tries to fight, but Xu Fu does something. I mean, it's heartbreak. He drops to his knees.
He does. And he doesn't beg for his own life. He begs for his young master. He tells the assassin, "Kill me if you must, but spare the boy."
And he explains the whole backstory.
The whole thing. The betrayal, the poverty, the fact that Han Dianyuan is murdering a boy just to get out of a wedding.
And Yin Shicheng, the terrifying hitman, he stops. He actually listens.
This is where we see that trope of the criminal with a code. Yin Shicheng is willing to kill for money, sure, but he realizes he's been hired to do something just, fundamentally dishonorable. He's disgusted by Han's pettiness.
I think that's a crucial distinction. He's not a good guy, but he has a line he won't cross. He's not just going to walk away, though, is he?
No, he goes a step further. He pulls out 100 taels of silver.
Which is a lot of money for them.
Oh, a life-changing amount. He hands it to them and says, "Run, go steady, get your degree, but do not stay here because Han will try again."
It really sets up this interesting dynamic where justice isn't coming from the law,
Right.
but from individuals making these split-second moral choices.
Precisely. The institutions are corrupt. Only the individual can restore balance. But, as we know with these Jigong stories, No good deed goes unnoticed because someone else is hiding in the garden.
Our favorite recurring chaos agent, Zhao Bin,
Zhao Bin, the master thief. His nickname is fantastic. Taking things from a bag.
implying that stealing is as easy for him as...
Reaching into his own pocket.
Exactly.
He's hiding outside the window, eavesdropping on this whole drama.
And this is one of my favorite character moments because it breaks the tension so perfectly. He is so moved by the assassin's mercy that he forgets he's supposed to be a stealthy ninja.
He literally shouts, "Well done,"
Yeah.
from the bushes.
It's such a rookie mistake. You have to imagine the silence of the garden, the high stakes, and then just this guy yelling, "Bravo!" from a shrub.
It creates immediate panic. Yin Shixang, the assassin, naturally thinks he's been caught by a guard, so he attacks.
And suddenly we have a fight scene. But let's talk about the weaponry here. Yin has that military-grade broadsword. Zhao Bin, he's fighting with a kitchen cleaver.
Kitchen cleaver.
Was he planning to cook something while he burgled the place?
It's likely what he had on hand. But the amazing thing is, he's holding his own. They're trading blows, parrying, dodging. But as they fight, they both start to realize something's weird.
The rhythm is familiar.
They're using the exact same sword style. It's like two jazz musicians realizing they're playing the same obscure song.
Okay.
So Yin stops the fight. He asks for a name. When Zhao identifies himself, Yin just freezes. He realizes, "I learned my martial arts from your father." Zhao Bin is the son of Yin's old master.
And this leads to that fantastic idiom used in the source material. You mentioned it in the notes. The flood washed over the Dragon King Temple.
Yes, Da Shui Chong Le Long Wang Miao.
Which means...
Oh, it's a very evocative phrase. In Chinese mythology, the Dragon King is the ruler of the waters. He controls the rain, the rivers, the floods.
Okay, so if a flood hits his own temple...
The water is attacking its own master. It's
Wrong.
used whenever family members or close allies accidentally fight.
So we're on the same team, we just didn't recognize each other.
Exactly. So the tension just evaporates. They have this emotional reunion.
Yeah.
Yin explains he only owed Han a favor because Han cured his leg at an inn. But now that he knows Han is a villain, he's ready to switch sides.
Which is incredibly lucky for Zhao Bin, because he isn't just there to critique assassination attempts. He's on a mission from Monk Jigong.
The mad monk himself. Jigong has sent Zhao Bin to steal a specific item located in the Pavilion of Heaven.
Which is this massive 25-room tower right there in the garden.
And the item has a name that sounds like a final boss attack in a video game.
The 5 Thunder 8 Trigrams Heavenly Master Charm.
It is a mouthful.
Yeah.
But in Taoist lore, every part of that name signifies immense power. This isn't just a good luck charm. This is a heavy hitter artifact.
So a high-value target. But they have a problem. They can't just go steal it. They have these 2 terrified refugees just standing there.
Right. You can't leave witnesses, and you certainly can't leave them to be killed by Han's next assassin. So before the heist, they have to run a rescue mission.
They lead them out of the garden, and who's waiting just outside the wall?
Jigong, of course. He's always lurking.
He takes immediate control.
He does. And I want to point out his management style here, because it contrasts with his mad monk persona. He doesn't just run into fight. He handles logistics.
Right.
He takes the scholar and the servant to the home of a wealthy ally, arranges housing, tells them to study, and promises to handle the fallout.
It highlights that Jigong is the safety net. He secures the innocent before he lets his minions unleash the chaos.
And make no mistake, chaos is coming. Once the innocent are safe, Zhao Bin and his new ally, the ex-assassin Yin, go back into the garden. It's heist time.
They head to the Getianlu, the Pavilion of Heaven. The text describes them using flying over eaves skills.
Basically hardcore parkour.
To scale the walls, they get inside, use a fire tube for light, find the suspended shrine, and there it is, the wooden box with the charm.
So mission accomplished, right? Grab the box, sneak out.
That's what Zhao Bin wants to do. He's a thief. He just wants the goods. But Yin Shixang stops him. And this is where the story takes a very dark, very tactical turn.
He argues that merely stealing the charm is a disaster waiting to happen.
Why? They have the object. Why complicate it?
Think about who they're stealing from. This is Prime Minister Qin Hui.
Historically, one of the most powerful and feared officials in the empire.
Right. This charm is a family heirloom. Yin points out that if the charm just goes missing, the Prime Minister will launch a root and branch investigation.
Root and branch. That sounds intense. What does that actually look like?
It means a total lockdown. They will tear the city apart. They will interrogate every servant, every guard, and probably torture people until they get a lead.
Okay, so Yin's logic is We need to cover our tracks so thoroughly that no one even knows a theft occurred.
Exactly. He says, we have to pull up the roots. He decides they have to burn the building down.
It's such an extreme escalation. To hide this theft, we are going to burn down a 25-room palace.
It challenges you to really think about the situation. Yin is technically one of the good guys now, but he's proposing grand arson. His reasoning is that if the building burns to the ground, everyone will assume the charm was destroyed in the fire.
No theft investigation, just a tragic accident. It's the trolley problem, but with architecture.
And they don't hesitate. They set the fire. The text gets very descriptive here. It talks about the golden snakes, a poetic term for the flames rushing the sky, the carved beams and painted rafters turning to ash.
It is a spectacular, violent act to cover up a crime, and it really blurs the lines.
It leaves us with a messy moral landscape. But in the moment, tactically, it works. As the fire rages and panic spreads, they flee over the walls.
And then we get this incredible tonal whiplash. They go from burning down a palace to performing a comedy skit.
It's so bizarre, but it fits the Jigong universe. They land on the roof of Li Guoyon's house, where Jigong is waiting, and they decide to play the role of delivering deities.
They start shouting, "My spirit has arrived!"
Pretending to be gods, bringing the charm to Jigong. And Jigong, who orchestrated the whole thing, he plays along. He's down the courtyard acting all reverent and bowing.
It's a performance for the host who's watching.
Exactly. Jigong receives the charm and offers a sacrifice or a reward to the gods on the roof.
I have to ask, what do gods eat in this story?
Apparently, they like snacks. The reward is a small yellow bag with 500 coins, some incense rice, and 5 bowls of pastries,
Pastries, after committing arson.
which Zhao Bin, still in character, accepts before flying away to visit his mother. It's absurdly funny. You have this fire raging a few blocks away, and here they are doing improv on a roof for some rice cakes.
It really shows that trickster archetype at work. The seriousness doesn't dampen their mood at all. So the charm is safe, the scholar is safe, but we still have one loose end.
The villain, Han Dainyuan.
The next morning brings the reckoning.
Jigong walks out and gets news from a servant. The Prime Minister was, understandably furious about the fire, and since it happened on Han Dainyuan's watch, Han gets the blame.
Which is sort of fair. I mean, he didn't set the fire, but he created the situation that led to it.
Negligence, at the very least. The Prime Minister had Han beaten with 40 heavy strokes. The man is in agony, lying in bed at the Three Shen Inn, unable to move.
So Jigong decides to pay him a visit, and this is the final piece of the justice puzzle.
The inn staff begs the monk for medicine, but Jigong doesn't just hand over a pill, does he?
No.
He says something very profound here. He says, wonderful medicine cannot cure an illness caused by sin. He diagnoses the physical pain as a direct result of Han's cruel heart.
He drops the act. He reveals he knows everything.
He tells Han, I know you tried to kill your son-in-law. I know about the assassin. And then he offers a bargain. It's essentially blackmail for a good cause.
I'll cure your pain, but only if you take Yu Zipping back and honor the marriage.
Exactly. Han is terrified. He's in pain. He's been fired. And now this monk is exposing his darkest secrets. He has no leverage left.
So he swears an oath.
He says he will not have a double heart again, meaning he won't be duplicitous or he faces heavenly punishment.
And just like that, Jigong gives him the medicine. What is it? Some rare herb.
Just a piece of grime from his body, depending on the version. But the effect is instant. The physical cure follows the moral correction. The marriage is back on.
So if we look at the scorecard for the night, in roughly 12 hours, Jigong and his team saved a life, stole a magical artifact, burned down a tower, and reformed a villain.
It's a masterclass in what we might call chaotic good. Jigong doesn't work within the system. He destroys the system and the building to get the result he wants.
But the story doesn't end with a happily ever after sunset, does it? There's a lingering sense of unease.
No. As Jigong leaves the inn, having solved this massive problem, he walks into a crowd. The text says it's 3 layers deep, filled with resentment crashing to the heavens.
Resentment crashing to the heavens. That is a powerful image. It sounds like the air is just heavy with grievance.
It implies that while one injustice is solved, thousands more remain. He senses a new startling event. His work isn't done.
A classic serial cliffhanger. One crisis is averted, but the world is still full of injustice.